Right, hey, what's up everyone, it's Weston here. So today we've got the review of the Skullcandy Uprock on-ear headphones. Now we're just going to kick this review off in my normal fashion and talk about design. Now these are very, well, I wouldn't call them a simple design, and I think the design more for the youth market, so your teenagers and stuff like that, because they're a really bright and vibrant design. So I'm thinking obviously they're aimed more towards younger teenagers, but the design is nice nevertheless. So there is a lot of branding on these headphones, and I will tell you how many there is in a minute. But on the top, you can see on the headband there is the Skullcandy name. So this will obviously be different depending on what colour headphones you do get, because there are quite a number of different colours of these. Then you've also got some more branding on the inside of the headband as well. Also, there is even more branding on both support arms on your headphones. So you can see on the ear cup there is a splash pattern, and I think there is another colour of these particular ones thingy, but I'll link them all down in the description anyway, because there is quite a few different styles. Then on the ear cups you've got again the Skullcandy logo. So the cable is a split design. As you can see there, it splits from both and then joins there. So on one side you've got your remote control, which is for iOS, but you do get a little bit of functionality obviously with Android. So it's a flat design cable, which I do prefer because it's less likely to tangle. Then obviously it joins there and then goes down to your 3.5mm jack, which is quite an odd design. It's very, very large, and again features the Skullcandy branding on it. I think they could have made it a little bit smaller, but there you go. Also to note of the design is there is virtually no adjustment whatsoever. So there's no left and right movement, and there's virtually no movement in this axis either. Right, so now we're going to talk about the headphones build quality. And they're actually a little bit better built than what I were expecting. They are a plastic construction obviously, but it's a nice plastic. It doesn't look cheap and it doesn't feel necessarily cheap either. Now there is quite a lot of give in them, and I mean you can see obviously the twist quite a lot without breaking, and they've not warped the headband either, which is pretty good. So there is a little bit of give there. The rest of it is not bad. The adjustment is all plastic, so it's a little bit rough and a bit stiff to actually adjust. The padding and stuff is reasonably soft. The padding material is very nice as well. The cable all joined very, very nicely. I can't see any sort of horrible bits, any excess material or like that. There is, however, some excess material on the headband, which is not great to be honest for quality. There you go. I mean, you can't really see it anyway, but it is there. Cable quality is again really decent. It feels really nice. It's nice and smooth, so it's not going to sort of catch on your clothing or anything. And like I mentioned already, it's flat as well. Then we go down to the 3.5mm jack, which again is very robust, but just poorly designed. So build quality is not bad. However, Skullcandy don't have the best reputation for reliability, so that will be something to take into account. So now we're going to talk comfort, or lack of comfort. So there is no padding on the headband whatsoever, but they're very lightweight, so that's not an issue there. It's here where your issue is. The padding is alright, that's fairly good. It's the clamping force. Oh, it's unbearable. I was just listening to these a couple of days ago for about half an hour, and I took them off and my ears were red raw because of how tight they clamp your head. Yeah, not the best for comfort. Like I mentioned already, there's no adjustment either, so once you've got them on, there's no adjusting them to get them to be comfortable. They're just very, very, very uncomfortable headphones. Right, so now we get on to features. Now these have got 40mm drivers, which are there, is the nicest way to put it. It's got your iOS obviously controller with a mic, which again is basically there and it works, which is all I can really say about that. You do get your play, pause and skip track function with Android, but obviously no volume control. So these headphones have a rating of 32 ohms, which means they're mobile friendly, so don't worry about getting or needing an amplifier for them. And they have a SPL, which is a sound pressure level of 106 decibels, so they do go fairly loud, and they're easy to drive as well. Right, so now we get on to the main event, and that is sound quality. Now this is where it all just completely falls apart. And these are some of the worst sounding headphones I've ever had the experience of listening to. Now, the sound is very vacant. So if you've ever been to a concert and you're standing far back, you can still hear the music, but obviously you can judge the distance and say that it's far away, tell that obviously it's far away. That's what these sound like. It sounds like the music is coming from not these, but somewhere else, which is a very, very odd sensation. Now, the bass is very deep, like Skullcandy are known for. They're known for the quite powerful bass, but it's not good bass. It's very muffled, it's quite muddy, and not very controlled either, so it's pretty wayward. So yeah, it's not a good sounding bass. Now, I will compare these to the ZX310, the Sony's, and they are much better at controlling bass for a similar price. Then we got onto the mid-range, which are again very lacking detail. It sounds like they're coming from a completely different sound source, which is very odd because it's right next to your ears. This then has direct effect on your vocals, which again sound very, very plain and bland, and when they do come through properly, they're just sort of lacking anything really. It's just there. I mean, you can hear them and you can hear what everything's been said, but there's no quality to it. Right, to wrap this review up, I will say I would advise to avoid these, unfortunately. So if Skullcandy ever does see this, I'd have to be honest, they're not great at all. Like I mentioned, the Sony ZX310, which I reviewed not long ago, are about the same price. They might not look as attractive as these, but they sound better and they're much more comfortable as well. You do lose your microphone feature. I'd rather lose that and have better sound quality and better comfort than have headphones that you basically can't use for more than half an hour without being in physical pain. Right guys, so apologies for the really negative review, but I have to be honest, and these aren't great at all. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, even though it has been a bit of a negative one, but I will see you all on the next one.